Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Mito Santoku knife from Nakano Knives. So I just took this out of the box, and let's check it out. A little bit of information about the knife company. Comes in a pretty nice little box. And this is it. Be careful, I don't want to end up cutting myself. Now, these knives are handmade in Japan. And if you remember the old ShamWow commercials where Vince Shlomi used to talk about the chamois were made in Germany because the Germans make good stuff. Well, guess who else makes really good stuff? The Japanese. And one of the things about this knife that they say is really good is it holds an edge very well. It has very good edge retention. The handle is made out of natural olive wood. The blade is high carbon stainless steel. And it's really touted as an all-purpose knife. This is Nakano's chef's knife, and it has an 8-inch blade. And I gotta say, just handling this knife, you know, you can tell it's a quality piece. It's not like most of the other kitchen knives that I have. Because I have probably the nicest kitchen knives I have to date are Chicago Cutlery, and I have a few Cuisinart, cheaper brand chef's knives, but I can already tell that none of them are going to hold a candle to the Nakano. The knife does come in extremely sharp. So let's take the little piece of paper that was wrapped in the box, and you can tell that it is very, very sharp. Now, it fits in the hand really well. There are no finger grooves or anything like that, but it's not too thick, it's not too thin, it just fits just right in the hand. I don't know exactly what the blade angle is, and I know that that is important for some people, but that's not information that was on the website. But I can tell you that it does have a fairly thin blade. It's not super thin, but I know for me at least, I have a lot of trouble sharpening knives, and I find that the thinner blades are typically a little bit easier for me to sharpen. So I don't see sharpening potentially being a problem with this knife. So from the visual aspect and the design of it, it really does appear to be a quality knife. So the Mito Santoku knife feels good, but let's see how it cuts. So I've got a few vegetables right here, and I've got a tomato. So we'll start off with that. And I have not cut anything with this knife yet. So this is going to be the first time that I'm going to be using it. Man, it feels really good in the hand. Oh, it is razor sharp too. I mean, we knew it was sharp because I had cut that piece of paper, but man, it is crazy sharp. You can do really, really thin slices with it. Look at that. I mean, you can see through those. I don't think I have owned a knife that would cut this well. Probably not one that's even been that sharp, really. I love the way it just goes right in with almost zero resistance. And obviously the knife is brand new, so it's going to be sharp. But I really think that a combination of the really sharp blade along with a thinner blade is making this thing cut super, super nice. So I'm pretty impressed so far. Now, I am not a professional chef, and I know when you see chefs on TV, they cut a certain way, and again, I'm not a professional chef, so I don't cut like the professionals do. I'm a home chef, so my cutting is pretty much how a home chef would be cutting. This knife really does slice through this stuff super easy. And the good thing is, when I'm done cutting up all these vegetables, I'm going to have the makings for something really good for supper. Yeah, this thing is just cruising through these vegetables with ease. So I would say so far it's definitely lived up to the expectations that I had for it. I'll try bell pepper. Pull that core out. I'll slice some real thin slices of bell pepper. I mean, really, you can just shave this stuff off if you want. Really, really nice. And the last vegetables that I have are jalapenos. I don't know, are jalapenos a vegetable? I've got a little slice of bell pepper stuck right there. Oh, this is really nice for slicing these jalapenos. Really, really thin. One thing that I like to do with jalapenos is I'll slice the jalapenos up, batter them, and fry them. The Mito Santoku knife did excellent on the vegetables. So let's try it on a piece of chicken. And I think I'm going to slice this up fairly thin. And I'm going to end up cooking it with my vegetables. And as expected, it's doing a great job. And I'm sure that I could go very, very thin if I wanted. So there's a look at the Mito Santoku knife from Nakano Knives. I've had offers to do knife reviews for other companies, and I've turned those companies down because they were much more run-of-the-mill knives. When Nakano had contacted me about this particular knife, it was one that I was interested in because it is a handmade knife made in Japan, which I suspected would mean that it would be a much more quality knife, and I think those expectations were met. Knife reviews can be hard simply because there's not a whole lot to show other than cutting, slicing, or chopping. I do think that the Mito Santoku knife has definitely earned the top spot in my kitchen from here on out, and you will probably see it on more videos in the future. Once I actually started using the knife, you could really tell that it was not your typical $10 or $15 made in China off-the-shelf knife. And it's not something that you're just going to stick in a drawer and never use. I think for a lot of people, this would be their go-to knife. So if you want to pick one up for yourself or look at other knives from Nakano Knives, there will be a link in the description of this video, and there will also be a discount code where you can save some money. I do want to thank Nakano Knives for sending me this knife out for review. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.